Just imagine a father single-handedly going through the entire underworld to save his daughter. Something similar happens in our story today. The story begins with a girl named Lydia who came with her boyfriend Jonah to buy guns and bullets. Actually, her boyfriend worked for a mafia named El Pedro. After buying weapons from the shop, they went to the house of a man whom they suspected of stealing El Pedro's money. His wife and 3 children also lived in that house with that man. Then when Daya, who was standing outside the house, heard the sound of a gunshot from inside, she got very scared, and on hearing this sound, all 3 children immediately ran away from there. After reaching inside the house, Lydia first saw the dead body of that man lying on the ground. Jonah was now questioning the man's wife about the money, but the woman was repeatedly saying that she did not know anything about it. Jonah's men started searching the entire house. They were in a relationship, but Lydia had never seen this side of her boyfriend, and now she was not liking it at all. She asked Jonah to leave that woman, but instead of listening to Lydia, Jonah put a gun in her hand and said that if you really love me, then shoot this woman. But Lydia was not ready for this at all, and she was very scared due to Jonah's repeated force, and then in panic she accidentally shot Jonah, and when she realized her mistake, she immediately ran away from there to save herself. On the other hand, Lydia's father John was telling his army stories to his friends, after which John told them how he had to go to jail for 7 years on the charge of killing someone under the influence of alcohol. John's closest friend was Cubby, whom he knew from his army days. Actually, John's divorced a long time ago. He now lives alone in a van. He also started working as a tattoo artist after leaving the army, and now he is even dating Diameter. He could meet her very rarely. After a while, he got a call from Lydia who told him that she was going to leave her house and shift somewhere else, and for this she needed $2,000. Actually, Lydia was running away from Jonah's men, but she did not want to tell this to her father. But John understood that his daughter was in a big trouble, and that is why he promised to send money to her as soon as possible despite not having any money. After which Lydia called him to meet her at a bar. After disconnecting the call, John took his car and went straight to meet Lydia, and after a long journey, he finally reached the place told by her. On seeing her father's car, Lydia quietly sat in it, and by then she was so tired of running away from Jonah's men that she fell asleep immediately. After reaching home, John first made his daughter sleep on a bed, after which he himself started searching her bag, in which he found some drugs. And a gun was found in his daughter's bag. Seeing all this, he understood that Lydia was in a big trouble. As soon as she woke up, Lydia asked John for $2,000, which John did not have, and so he asked Lydia to stay there for a few days, but Lydia did not want to do this at all because she knew very well that if she did so, her father's life could be in danger. Lydia told John about Jonah's death, but she did not tell the whole truth that in fact she had shot Jonah by mistake, but by now John knew that the police were all around Lydia, and that is why he asked Lydia to stay there for a week. The same evening, John asked Kirby to loan him $2,000, which he flatly refused. Actually, Kirby believed that Lydia would waste this money on drugs, and that is why they should first take them to Liddell. That very night, some men came to John to get a tattoo done. They came to him on the pretext of a car, but as soon as he saw them, he understood that they had come to take Dia, and so he immediately closed all the doors and windows, after which those people started breaking his van. But then Kirby and his companions reached there to help John, after which those people had no other option but to run away from there. To save his daughter's life, John immediately changed his place, after which he immediately left for a new place with Lydia. By now Lydia had also understood that along with the police, El Pedro's men were also looking for her. So she decided to tell her father the whole truth. On the way, they stopped at a hotel, but due to lack of sleep, Lydia came out for a walk where she started talking to the receptionist, but then she saw the news where she saw that the police had declared her wanted, and by then the hotel people had also informed the police about Lydia. So Lydia immediately called John and asked him to run away from there, but by then some policemen had surrounded the hotel and blocked their way. But then the receptionist came forward to help them and hid them in a secret place from where John was keeping an eye on all the policemen, and then he saw 2 policemen who were moving fast towards them, but then suddenly an unknown man called the police. The attackers attacked the people, taking advantage of which John and Lydia Carr fled from there. The unknown man tried to attack them too, but they escaped easily. The next day, John called his old friend Jack from jail to find out about Lydia's attackers. Actually, Jack was an old mafia leader who had very deep connections in the underworld, and Jack immediately agreed to help his friend. After this, both of them sat in a truck and left for their next destination, and after traveling for a few hours, they reached a bar from where John had to find out the address of his old friend Tom. But on seeing Lydia with John, the bartender flatly refused to tell him Tom's address, after which John went to call Kirby to ask for help, but here Lydia got Tom's address from the bartender with the help of her charms, after which both of them took a lift and reached Tom's house, where on reaching there, John took his money and Harley bike from Tom. Both of them asked for the money back which they had given to Tom many years ago for his care, but Tom said that he did not have the money right now and would give it back later. That evening, Tom called his biker group friends to meet John, after which John and Lydia decided to stay there that night. The next morning, Tom and his wife held John and Lydia at gunpoint. Actually, they had come to know that John and Lydia were running away from Liddell, and so they decided to get Lydia arrested and take the government's name. John got so angry at this that he immediately attacked Tom's wife and snatched the gun from her hand, after which he asked Tom to quietly return his bike and all the money instead of getting angry. Despite this, John decided to leave Tom alive for the sake of friendship. Both of them immediately left for their next destination with their money and bike. But on the way, many of Tom's men tried to catch them, but John easily defeated them all with the help of the weapons stolen from Tom's house. The next day, to escape from the police and the gang, John and Lydia decided to change their disguise. For this, John shaved his beard and Lydia changed the color of her hair. After which John went to jail to meet his friend Jack. There, Jack told John all the information he had received from his sources. Actually, El Pedro's entire gang was after Lydia because Jonah was only pretending to find the money in that house. In reality, he was the one who stole the money. When Lydia ran away after shooting Jonah, the gang's entire suspicion fell on her that she knew where all the money was. Now they felt that Lydia was behind this theft. Lydia is the mastermind of the whole story. Lydia was still waiting in a hotel when she got a call from Cubby, who told her that El Pedro's men have come to know about her whereabouts, and after this he asked Lydia to go to a place where there is a lot of crowd. Believing Cubby, Lydia immediately reached a movie theater because she thought that maybe she will be safe here, but actually this was all Jonah's plan, who was still alive. Seeing Jonah in front of her, Lydia immediately started running from there, but then Jonah's men caught her. After meeting Jack, John tried to call Lydia, but she was not picking up the phone. So John called Kirby and asked about Lydia, but on calling Kirby, he came to know that Jonah had already killed her. Hearing the news of his closest friend's death and his daughter's kidnapping, John was filled with anger. Later, he decided to meet Jonah. Jonah said that if he tries to find me, I will kill Lydia. But in reply, John said, "Kill her, do one thing. Then I will tell El Pedro all about you, that how you have stolen his money." But before going to Jonah, John went to Tom's house from where he picked up many grenades which he was going to use to kill Jonah's men. But this time, when Tom tried to stop him, he was forced to kill his friend. After reaching the place told by Jonah, first of all his men searched John, after which his hands were tied and he was also made to sit in a car with Lydia. But as soon as Jonah's men went to move John's bike out of the way, the grenades attached under the bike exploded, and taking advantage of this opportunity, John also attacked Jonah and his companions, despite his hands being tied. He succeeded in defeating them. Jonah started running away from there to save his life, and on the other hand, John and Lydia were also about to run away from there with his car when suddenly a sniper of El Pedro attacked them, in which a bullet went straight to John, and to save his daughter, he sacrificed his life. After some time, the police came there and arrested Jonah, after which he was sent to the same jail where Jack was already imprisoned, and to take revenge for his friend's death, he made Jonah realize on the very first day that his time in jail was not going to be good. I was very sad to see John die. Rest, how should the ending of the story have been according to you? Do tell us in the comments. See you in the next video.